Hey guys, it's Penguin here, and welcome back to another gold making video. In this video, we're going to be talking about 5 more items that you should be selling now, currently in patch 9.2. Now technically, this is part 2 of a video that I uploaded about 2 weeks ago. That video was the same type of video as this, where I just talked about 5 different types of items that are currently doing very well with this new patch. So this video is going to be covering over 5 more different items, so of course if you do enjoy this video, feel free to go check that one out if you haven't watched it already, because that's going to get you even more items to start selling. Now all of these items are currently doing super well, and they should continue doing well throughout this patch. But without further ado, we're going to get right into these items. Now, the first item on this list is actually a new one, just being added to 9.2, and that is the new Cosmic Healing Potion. Now, this is from Alchemy, and it is just trainer learned, so you do not have to go farm reputation. All you have to do is have Alchemy learned, and then have it maxed out, just like a normal profession, and you'll be able to learn this from the trainer. The best thing about this healing potion is that it is super cheap. So the original healing potion cost 2 Death Blossom, and this one just requires 2 of the first flowers, which is the new herb in Zereth Mortis. Now, if you guys are familiar with alchemy, you probably know how well the health potions sell. Yes, they might not have a ton of profit, but they do sell very fast, and these are now the new versions of them. But to give you guys an idea about profit, currently the region average for NA for the price of first flowers is around 50 gold, and the potions are currently going for around 130 gold. And so I stated that you need 2 of these flowers in order to create a potion, so you're making about 30 gold profit. So yes, 30 gold might not seem like a ton, however, sell 20, 50, 100 of them at a time. Somebody might even buy out 200 if they're, need a lot of healing, and that 30 gold profit per can add up a ton. Also, it's not a big investment. Like I said, first flowers around 50 gold, and honestly, depending on when you're watching this video, all of the new materials are dropping in price, so you might be able to get it for even cheaper. I was able to pick up my personal ones for about 35 gold each, since somebody just threw it up on my auction house, and I'm selling the potions for around 125 gold, which is very awesome. But that is the first item that we're talking about, and we're going to move on to number 2. So the second item on this list is also a Shadowlands item. We're going to have some old world items after this. But the one that I want to talk about is technically 2 items, and it is the Shaded Sharpening Stones as well as the Shaded Waystones. Now, if you guys have watched my previous videos, specifically the Forgotten Items series, then this will not be a surprise to you. I previously have talked about this item a ton, and they just do super well, especially for beginners who does not have a ton of income at the moment. What I mean by this is that all these require the Sharpening Stone just simply requires 2 Shaded Stone, which cost almost less than a gold each on average. And of course, if it's profitable as well, you have the Shaded Waystones, which requires Shaded Stone as well as a piece of lightless silk. So that one, of course, is a little bit more expensive, but generally you can sell it for a little bit more as well and get a bigger profit margin. But specifically, I'm talking about the Shaded Sharpening Stone. Like I said, each Shaded Stone is literally under 2 gold. Even in my server, it's under a gold a piece. So regionally, the average crafting cost of this item is less than 4 gold. And the region sale average for this item is also 16 gold. So this is super awesome. That is 12 gold profit right there. Now, of course, 12 gold doesn't seem like a ton, but if you're investing 4 gold into that, that is tripling your gold, turning 4 gold into 16, that's actually quadrupling. You're making about triple times in profit as your crafting cost, and that is just super awesome. Similar to the healing potions, a lot of people buy these in bulk because they do have a time limit on them. So every single dungeon, whenever it runs out in raids, etc., they will need to buy a new one. To give you a rough idea, in the past 3 days, I have sold almost 800 stones for about 13,000 gold profit. Moving on, we now have 2 old world items that we're going to be talking about for the 3rd and 4th spot, but the first one is auto hammers. Now this item comes from Legion Engineering, and it's a little bit different. It kind of requires a little bit more steps, and that is because if you guys are unfamiliar with Legion professions, there is a quest line involved. So if you guys have not played during Legion and you have not leveled up those professions, basically there's a customized quest line for each profession, and you have to complete that in order to get recipes as well as your skill leveled up. But as long as you take a few minutes and complete that quest line, you will unlock the first 2 ranks of the auto hammer. And if you want to get that final rank to craft these the cheapest possible, then you just have to keep an eye out for the work order world quest. Basically, you just turn in some auto hammers and it will give you that rank 3. So of course, if you are looking at this item and it doesn't seem profitable and you don't have that top rank, definitely consider, look at it once a day, see if the world quest is up, and then that should hopefully bring some profit to this item. But the reason why this item is perfect at the moment is it is a portable repair area. So, raiders need it because everybody's trying to get through Mythic, Heroic, or even Normal. So lots of raids are happening. Basically, anybody doing current content where their armor is getting drastically destroyed, auto hammers can be great for them. Now, one tip I do want to leave you with before moving on to the next item is if you are looking to craft this item, most of them are vendor items. So of course you do have the laystone ore, which you have to use. However, all of the kind of other miscellaneous items are vendor items, which you can get from the engineering shop inside of Legion. So if you're trying to calculate a cost, do not buy those off the auction house. They will definitely be inflated. Just keep that in mind. But moving on, we now have item number 4, which is actually 5+ items in one, and this is simply old world bags. Now what I mean by this is I'm going to give you a few examples, which are the deep sea bags, the silkweave satchels, netherweave bags, hexweave bags, and then 2 that I'm going to talk about in just a second. But you hear me say this and you're probably thinking like, what in the world? Why are people going to spend so much money on these, very, very small bags? But that is just simply because people are comfortable with their routine. They've done stuff in the past and they just keep with that because, why need to change it? What I mean by this is I know personally myself, for the longest time, I just had this routine that I would send, about 100 gold over, maybe 500 gold over to my brand new alt, buy myself some 16 gold, netherweave bags, which were those small 16 slot bags, and then I would be good to go. Now, of course, I could get my money worth if I just purchased, the normal shrouded cloth bags that we have at the moment. They only cost about 180 gold, etc., and, I'd be way better off. However, for the longest time, I was just, used to actually buying the netherweave bags, and sometimes I still do it to this day. And that goes with all old world bags. So you have silkweave satchels, deep sea bags. I am actively still selling deep sea bags for 2 to 3 times the cost of shrouded cloth bags, and they are the same size. It's simply just because people are used to those bags. So definitely do not diss on those old world bags. Feel free to always check the auction house for possible deals. Every once in a while, the Shadowlands silk becomes like 60 silver each. I pick it up and I sell the bags for 300 to 400 gold. It's super awesome, very easy to do, and like I said, bags, they sell in bunches of either 4, 5, or 11, and it's just great for some extra income. The other 2 bags I do want to give a special mention to is the Hydral Expedition bag. The reason why people buy this is that it is a 36 slot bag, however, it's only for herbalism. But this bag is perfect for gathering people who use herbalism, and that is why this bag sells so much, and it normally sells for a few thousand gold. So, yes, you can only carry herbs, but if you have herbalism and mining, that bag is probably perfect because now you have an extra 4 slots compared to the lightless silk one to add some more herbs. The other one that I lastly want to talk about is the otherworldly bag. And similar to the other one, this is also a 36 slot bag. However, it is for enchanting. So this is great if you are somebody, right now trying to do like enchanted lightless silk, trying to, enchant a ton of AFK soul dust, stuff like that. These 4 extra slots from this bag could definitely help you out. Also, if you're disenchanting or something, just storing your materials, you have a little bit more space. So those are the 2 bags that stand out to me. Of course, you have all of the other old world bags. There are way too many to list, but do not hesitate. Of course, test your markets, and hopefully you'll be able to get to some extra income as well from these easy bag sales. Now, the last thing on the list is a little bit non-traditional, and I put this on this list because I feel like it's pretty common now in terms of it doesn't really need its own video. However, it's something I do want to bring to your attention if you haven't thought of it before. And this is classic vendor shuffling. So if you guys started at the beginning of Shadowlands and was into gold making, you probably have heard this term before, and you're probably pretty familiar with it. Shrouded cloth pants and bracers were a very good one for disenchanting and shuffling. Then composite bows happened, etc. And the ones we're going to be talking about today are those bows. Now, if you're listening right now and you're like, what in the world is a vendor shuffle? That is basically when you buy cheap materials off the auction house, craft it into an item for cheaper than its vendor price, then you simply sell the item off to a nearby vendor. And then, of course, depending on your price, you might get a few gold, you might get a few silver, just truly depends on your profit margins. But to give you guys a little bit of a realistic point of view, Desolate Leather and Pallid Bones have been crashing on a lot of servers due to everybody doing the new protogenic pelt farms and all of that, and a lot of the Desolate Leather is getting cheap. I've seen thousands of it posted at 2 gold on my server, and regionally, Desolate Leather is sitting at about the 2.5 mark. And then, of course, Pallid Bones are also hovering around the 1 gold mark. So if you were to buy Desolate Leather at 2 gold, and Pallid Bones at 1 gold apiece, and then of course you were able to buy vendor items at the 7.2 gold, the, cheapest you can buy them, then you can make almost 29,000, you make 28.7 thousand gold per hour shuffling. So yes, 30k an hour does not sound super awesome to a ton of people, but if you think about it, you can leave this crafting whenever you're going to make dinner, whenever you have homework to do, when you have to walk the dog, when you're going to go work out, and even if you do this at 30 minutes at a time, when you normally are going to be off your computer anyways, that 30 minutes at 30k an hour, that can be a free 15,000 gold right there. So especially if you are somebody who is trying to gain some gold income to start investing with, this is a perfect way to do so. Also, if you are somebody like myself who does have a second account, simply get yourself a leatherworker, level them up until they can craft composite bows, then simply send them over the materials, let them AFK craft as you do everything on your main account, and now you're making a passive 30k an hour. So this is a great way, like I said, it's one of those AFK shuffles, and if you think about it, if you're able to do this for 10 hours, you can make 287,000 gold. That is a WoW token for EU, and that is almost 2 WoW tokens for NA. And that is 10 hours. So technically, if you did an hour a day for 10 days, you will be good for the month. So of course, you do have to find enough materials to shuffle for 10 hours straight, but it's just an idea. Also, if you guys are interested, Desolate Leather, if you buy it for 3 gold instead of 2, you're still making a solid 20k per hour. But that is all 5 items for this video. Hopefully one of these are going to be good on your server, and you can add this to your gold making markets and hopefully make some more profit. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to support me, feel free to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more, and feel free to tell me what you're selling in the comments down below and maybe share some ideas with other people. But thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, have a good day.